Hello students. Today we are going to start with the poem The Last Bargain by Rabindranath Tagore. Now, The Last Bargain is a very soulful poem written by famous Indian poet Rabindranath Tagore. In the poem, the speaker is talking about the worthlessness of worldly things, the material things that every human being runs after. The worldly things, power and beauty. And all of you know that every human on earth is trying to achieve these three things. Now, what is bargain? As you can see, a bargain is an agreement in which both parties promise to do something for each other. And bargain is a strike when both the parties agree that what is good for them. And finally, what happens that both the parties willingly give each other something. So, the poem is divided into 4 parts, and that is stanzas. And now we'll discuss the poem. Now, moving on to the first stanza. In the first stanza, the speaker says that one day while he was walking on the stone-paved road in the morning, the king came in his chariot with a sword in his hand. Seeing him, the speaker pleads the king to hire him. Now let's see. "Come and hire me," I cried. While in the morning, I was walking on the stone-paved road. Sword in hand, the king came in his chariot. He held my hand and said, "I'll hire you with my power." So, what happened? As I have already discussed, that the speaker was walking and he saw that the king was coming in his chariot with a sword in his hand. And so the speaker pleads the king to hire him. Now, it is the morning time, that symbolizes hope and courage. As it is said, as you can read in the first line, that was the morning time. Hence, the poet seems to be hopeful that today someone or the other is going to hire him. Stone paved road here signifies the difficult path or the hard times. And king in his chariot with a sword means a person with power. So here the speaker requests the king. That means he needs something badly, and he asks the king to hire. Hire means the poet wants to get what the king has. So what did the king did? He held my hand and said, "I'll hire you with my power." But his power counted for naught, and he went away in his chariot. So what did the king do? The king hold the hand of the speaker and says he will hire him with his power. However, power seems to be nothing or worthless to the speaker because it is not everlasting. So because the king will sooner or later will die, and his powers will also be finished. So the speaker, not satisfied with what the king offered him, he rejects the king's offer, and the king goes away in his chariot. So in this stanza, the speaker describes his first struggle to get something that fails. Now moving on to the second stanza. In the heat of the midday, the houses stood with shut doors. I wandered along the crooked lane. An old man came out with his bag of gold. He pondered and said, "I'll hire you with my money." He weighed his coins one by one, but I turned away. Now, morning has passed, and now it is the afternoon time. It is the daytime and very hot outside. That means the summer season. The doors of houses were closed because of the heat. No one was out. The speaker is wandering, moving here and there along the crooked lane. Crooked lane means bent or uneven roads. So here this is also a difficult path, as in the first stanza it was a stone paved road, and here again it's a crooked lane. Again, that means the speaker is passing through a difficult time, or the time full of troubles. Soon, what happened? An old man comes out of his house along with a bag of gold. that is with a lot of money and huge wealth. He pondered, that is, thought carefully, and finding that the speaker is need of something, offers him money and says that he will hire him with that. He will hire him with that money. Now, the old man, in order to show how wealthy, he starts counting his gold coins one by one. He was trying to show off that he has a lot of money. However, like the power of king, the wealth of old man seems to be worthless, because again, what will happen? The old man will, sooner or later it will move away, or it could not make the climate cool or anything. So the speaker understands that wealth is not something which he needs, because, like the power, it does not remain in one hand forever. He wants something else and thus goes away. As it is written, but I turned away. And then, moving on to the third stanza, it was evening. Now the time is passing by, morning, then afternoon, and now it's evening. The garden hedge was all flower. The fair maid came out and said, I'll hire you with a smile. Her smile paled and melted into tears, and she went back alone in the dark. And now it's evening time, and the garden, is full of blooming flowers. In other words, the garden is looking very beautiful and romantic. And then what happens? A beautiful lady comes out and says that she wants to hire him with a smile, that is, with her beauty. However, again, the speaker realizes something. And what was that? That just like the king's power and the old man's wealth, her beauty is also not everlasting. Sooner or later, the smile of that beautiful lady is going to pale and melted with tears. And he felt that, the beauty is being melted away. And the lady is gone, and she goes back along into the dark. Dark here symbolizes hopelessness, and the speaker do not want hopelessness, as he refused the power, the money, and now the beauty. So he refused all the things, and then what happened? Now moving on to the fourth and the last stanza. The sun glistened on the sand, and the sea waves broke waywardly. A child sat playing with the shells. He raised his head and seemed to know me and said, I hire you with nothing. From henceforth, that bargain struck in child's play made me a free man. In the final stanza, what happened? That a new day comes with new hope and courage for the speaker. He is at the seashore, and he sees the sun shining on the sand and the sea waves breaking, in an unpredictable way. The sea waves keep on moving. This vision, the scene presented by the speaker symbolizes his love and appreciation for nature. Soon he finds a child sitting on the seashore and playing with shells. This is a symbolic image, as the child has no desire for power or wealth or beauty. He is free of all these things because he is innocent, and his innocence make the speaker a servant. The child raises his head and sees the speaker. The child looks at the speaker as if he knows him. Seeing the speaker in search for something, the child offers to hire him with nothing. Nothing is here, a big symbol, though here nothing means nothing, like of no value. But here, nothing means freedom, liberty, independence, and free from all the desires. So the speaker understand this is what actually he was looking for, he was longing for. He accepts the child's offer, and from that day onwards, the speaker finds freedom in the child's play and thus becomes a free man. So this was the ultimate destination of the speaker. So in this poem, students, the speaker wants to say that nothing remains in this world, no power, no wealth, no beauty. The only thing that remains is your happiness, and that comes from your independence of all, from all these things, which sooner or later will be vanished. So this independence, that is happiness, comes from nothing, and that nothing is the freedom, the liberty, and freeing yourself from all the desires in the world. It was a wonderful poem written by Rabindranath Tagore, and as we all know, Rabindranath Tagore was a famous Indian poet. He was not only a poet, he was a musician, an Ayurveda researcher, an artist, and he recasted Bengali literature and Indian art in late 19th and early 20th century. In 1913, Rabindranath Tagore was the first non-European to win Nobel Prize in Literature. So, students, you can feel that you are lucky to read such literature written by such a great poet. I hope you have enjoyed the poem and understood its meaning very well. Thank you.